Yo, Class 1A and Class 1B, synergy on point. I really hope they make it through this. What's up guys, it's Truth Hero and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter review. So let's talk about Boku no Hero Academia chapter 279 of the manga. The students, the pro heroes, Machia and the League of Villains on the ropes, and some interesting information on Dabi's quirk and his arm when he uses his fire. Also, what is Mina Ashido gonna do when she gets up to Gigantomachia? Let's dive in. But first, a word from this video's sponsor, Low-Key Lude. Low-Key Lude specializes in anime-themed shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, everything from kawaii to pocky, even stuff for all the bakas out there. I remember that I recently told you guys I started watching Hunter x Hunter, right? More like hiatus, but I don't care if it's over. Actually, I don't care if this is the end of the show, cause I'm wearing a dope anime shirt. And if you want some awesome anime threads, head on over to the link in my description and use promo code TruthHero10 to get 10% off your first purchase. But without further ado, let's get into it. The chapter opens up with Setsuna Tokage telling Mudman it's time to go after he softened a large portion of the ground. Mudman asks, what about Monoma's group? Are they okay? Maybe I missed it? I don't know, but I don't remember Monoma ever being in this arc with Class 1B in the forest or on the other side of this battle. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, which you guys usually do, but I don't remember ever seeing Monoma in this arc. Setsuna notices a blue flame atop Gigantomachia's back. Oh boy, I mean we all knew this was coming, but Class 1A and 1B will have to fight the League of Villains. Now here's something interesting. Yaoyorozu explains that she would normally inject the anesthesia, but since they can't do that because Gigantomachia is rampaging, they'll have to administer it orally. They need to get it into his mouth, but because of this, she says that she needs 30 liters. Now, I'm hoping this is a mistranslation because 30 liters is like 8 gallons. That's, if you think about those big bottles of soda, that's 15 of them. And what the students are holding in their hands is about half a liter. So maybe it's 30 milliliters of liquid anesthesia, which is still an insane amount for any human being, whether they have superpowers or not. So regardless, I hope that they can get this into his mouth, and I hope Mina Ashido, as we see at the end of this chapter, can get it done. But it just goes to show that Gigantomachia is an absolute unit and seemingly nothing can bring him down. The dose he needs is ridiculous. The more I think about it, it would seem that it's 30 milliliters dissolved in water, since Yaoyorozu did say it was a diluted solution. But I'm hoping that's all they need, one of these bottles. Maybe even 300 milliliters would work, because that's manageable. It'd be hard, you'd need like 10 bottles, but it'd be hard. You could still do it though. But 30 liters to get 8 gallons of solution into Gigantomachia's mouth, that's just not gonna happen. But hey, despite the math, Yaoyorozu is confident that if we can get one of these jars into his mouth and maybe it shatters or he crunches on it, then he will no doubt pass out. But, I mean, good luck doing that. We then have Mineta wondering if Midnight is alive. He's worrying about his scandalous hero, and I almost feel bad for him. Almost. Luckily, Mina just kind of dismisses it and says, yeah, she'll be fine. She's okay. She goes on to say, we're all in this together as a class. We'll be alright. I don't know about you, but Mina is exuding confidence here, and this is nice to see from her character. I know she's always upbeat, but now this is do or die, and she still has that same reliable confidence in her. We then flash over to Mountain Lady, who's still struggling to keep Gigantomachia down. Listen guys, I don't know how she does it, but I'm going to say this a lot during this chapter review. She gets the A+ in perseverance and determination. She gets that first place medal. Machia then approaches the ground where our heroes were and begins to sink into the softened soil that Hononuki previously loosened up. Finally, we've caught this giant. But will their planning pay off? Before this, Mineta and Sarah lined the forest floor with sticky balls and tape, and now people like Sato and Beast Boy are using that to tether Gigantomachia to the ground. I love Ibara Shiozaki here. Please forgive me for doing my job as a student and hero in training, as her vines wrap around Gigantomachia's neck, pulling him to the ground further. But if you thought the League of Villains would just let this happen and take this lying down, you're wrong. I really like Toga's expression here. Ah, really? UA again? Okay, let's just beat him, I guess. We see a number of moves made by UA to attack the League of Villains, and they actually thwart them, although they're desperately clinging onto his back because they don't want to get off him. Jiro launches her earphone jack but is burned by Dabi. Luckily, it doesn't look like it's too bad. I think she's injured, but it's not so severe. Aoyama fires his lasers and Reiko Yanagi sends some debris towards the villains with her poltergeist. Kaminari shoots his electrical conducting discs all over the League of Villains and Machia's back. Unfortunately, as Mr. Compress notes, this is dangerous and Kaminari is hit with debris before he can fire off a lightning bolt with his pointers. Hey. We knew not everything would go according to plan. That's okay, we're still in this fight, guys. But despite being tied down, so is Gigantomachia. So let's talk about just how powerful he is even when he's not even moving his body. Just as Setsuna Tokage with all her floating limbs and some others are about to chuck these bottles of anesthesia into Gigantomachia's mouth, he blows air and creates hurricane force winds, cause why not? Now, we know Machia doesn't have multiple quirks. Okay, so I'm editing this right now and I realize I'm sort of wrong, but not really, about Gigantomachia's quirk or quirks. I'll talk about this more later in the video, but basically even if he only has one quirk, he has multiple abilities with that quirk, or that quirk allows him to have all these insane abilities that go with him being huge and increasing his size. So you'll see, but the point is, what we thought we knew about Gigantomachia only having one quirk may or may not be true, but the man's got talents. But whatever quirk or mutation he does have, let's call it being a giant, this allows him to have multiple abilities and heighten things like his senses. He has incredible strength, speed, durability. I mean, he doesn't even burn with Dabi's flames. And now we're learning that he can just blow people away by simply exhaling. It is no surprise that even though he's not the smartest, not the sharpest tool in the shed, he was able to, for a long time, be All for One's personal bodyguard without any problems. I mean, I'm just wondering what's next. You know, can he spit at people like and then just take them out with these water projectiles? What if he yells really loud? Can he shatter people's eardrums? Can he be like Present Mike or someone that manipulates water? Look, big ups to Class 1A and 1B for tripping him up and tying him down, but they need to put him to sleep ASAP, because even without him being able to move his body, barely getting his head off the ground, he's still a major threat to this operation. I mean, I don't know. What's next at this point? If he falls asleep, can he snore and then create more wind or water? I mean, time is ticking for our students here, and I wish them the best of luck. So, go Mina, go! Before we finish this segment on the villains and look at our heroes and how they regroup and sort of try and take down Machia at the end of this chapter, let's talk about Dabi for a second. Toga asks Dabi, "Is your arm okay?" Now, instead of answering her question, he talks about Gigantomachia's quirk or his multiple quirks now that we're finding this out. But I do want to note that if this comes down to Shoto confronting Dabi or Endeavor confronting Dabi, he's not in the best of states, and he's actually kind of talking about Machia's quirk and the ability to block out pain as something that he could probably use, as his arm is basically being singed and charred at this point. So just keep this in mind, that if Dabi is to confront Shoto or Endeavor, he's going to have trouble fighting, and maybe we'll get some character development and see that he's finally Toyo Todoroki. But what's even more interesting is what Dabi says about Gigantomachia and his quirk or quirks. So apparently I was wrong in the beginning of this video, like we all thought, and he has multiple abilities, and Dabi heard this from Dr. Ujiko himself. So let's go over what Machia can do with these multiple abilities or quirks. One of Gigantomachia's abilities allows him to transform energy that's building up in his body to actual size and causes him to grow bigger and stronger. Another one gives him a propensity to tolerate pain. Basically, when he gets excited in battle, he gets physically swole, almost like an actual pump from the gym, and you get stronger. Perhaps his just physical size in general allows him to tolerate pain, and small things that would normally hurt someone don't hurt him. But again, I think it's another ability that causes him to just not feel too much. I mean, he withstood Dabi's flames, and he's very durable. He has a thick hide, literally. And then other quirks that allow him to just have insane amounts of stamina during battle. Dabi's absolutely right. This guy is the perfect bodyguard. Whether or not Gigantomachia has one quirk or multiple, I don't know. And at this point, unless we get confirmation from Horikoshi, it's kind of irrelevant. We do know that he is one person, meaning he doesn't have multiple quirks like a Nomu. We know he doesn't act like a high-end Nomu, and even if he was a Nomu, that would count as having multiple quirks, so he wouldn't fall into that category. What I believe is Gigantomachia's case is perhaps All For One gave him a synthetic quirk. Maybe he took a quirk and infused multiple abilities into it and gave it to him, and it's kind of a package deal where it only counts as one quirk. Shoto has, half hot, half cold as one quirk, but that can look like it's two abilities. So maybe Gigantomachia has all these abilities, but it's sort of a package deal, like a color wheel, where he has, his quirk is palette, but he can use blue and red and yellow and green or whatever. The other option is his quirk is something like evolution, which basically allows him to adapt to any situation. So if he needs more strength, he uses latent energy in his body to grow in size. He uses that to gain speed and strength, and he uses that to heighten his senses, heighten his awareness, using physical energy that just, makes you excited. It would also help him, resist pain, toughen his skin, and it'd be one hell of a quirk. But I do think that whatever quirk he has is something unique that we haven't seen in the series. He's definitely not a Nomu, but at the same time, he's not just some guy with a superpower. There has to be something more to his body. Maybe he has body modification from All For One, and then a quirk like evolution. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments though. What is Gigantomachia's quirk, or if you believe he has multiple quirks? And above all, what are his unique abilities? Machia tries to tunnel underground here, and Mr. Compress is worried that a few of the League of Villain members won't make it if he goes full speed. But that's the least of the worries, because he's going nowhere with Mountain Lady holding him back. I said it before, and I'll say it again, Mountain Lady deserves the Determination and Courage Award in this chapter. Also, I really like the idea that if the students are able to subdue Gigantomachia, that they and the pro heroes with them far outnumber the League of Villains. I mean, they actually have the advantage in this fight if they can remove Gigantomachia from the picture. That's, if they can put him to sleep. And who will be the one to throw that bottle of anesthesia inside his mouth and put this giant to sleep? Why, Mina Ashido of all people. I love that she's so confident in this chapter, and maybe it's because, she's part of that one brain cell squad and doesn't have fear. But Mina Ashido is amazing here. I also love this acid armor form that she can protect herself against his attacks, his wind, his bad breath, as she says, and she can get up close and hopefully get this job done. Go Mina. Anyway, that's what I have for you guys today. If you want some awesome anime merch, head to the link in my description and use promo code TruthHero10 to get some savings from your senpai for your first purchase on Low Key Loot. Also, if you want to find this specific shirt, it's in the bestsellers section because, let's be honest, it's a dope shirt. And let me know down below in the comments, what do you think Gigantomachia's quirks or abilities are? What do you think of Mina Ashido being the one to knock him out? And also, how much anesthesia do you think it will actually take to knock him out? I might geek out and do some math calculations in the comments. So, until next time, hero or villain, thanks for watching and plus ultra.